Hi everyone, my name is Ryan and I'm the Midlife Skier. In mid-August of 2025, I went to get a custom boot fitting. This was my first time purchasing ski boots and my first time going through a custom boot fitting. After spending over 40 days in these boots over this past ski season, I'm ready to share my review of these boots, so let's get into it. My ski boots are 2025 Tecnica Mach BOA HV110 ski boots. Here are my observations. Number one, my feet never really hurt in these boots, and my calves were good even after a long day of skiing. My feet never really got cold either. I don't know if the boot caps that I put on there helped on this or not. Lots of people asked me during the season, hey, do those boot caps work? And I basically said, I don't know. On the one hand, I couldn't really feel a difference, but on the other hand, as the season went on, I never had a problem with my toes getting cold on some pretty cold days. So I would say, if nothing else, they definitely don't seem to hurt, and perhaps they work. I don't know. The liners of my boots did pack out some, as I expected, so I just needed to tighten the boots slightly more after about 10 ski days. I did break in the boots by wearing them around the house before the season began. This seemed to help a lot, actually. That was good advice I've gotten and heard online. These were by far the most comfortable boots I've ever used. During the day, I didn't even need to loosen them during lunch or other breaks. I tightened them before heading out to ski and only loosened them when taking them off at the end of the day. No loosening them on the lift or in the lift line. I like the BOA mechanism on the lower part of the boot. It worked well on giving my very wide feet the right amount of tightness and control while staying comfortable. Interestingly, I figured out that when the ball of my foot started hurting in the boot, tightening the BOA gave me better control and it got rid of the pain. It's a little weird. I would think loosening would have helped the pain, but tightening it worked better. I never had any mechanical issues with the BOA and it worked flawlessly all season. I found the booster straps to be very good, but it's hard to compare them to the normal straps as I never skied with the original straps. I had the intermediate straps installed prior to my first time using them, and I always pulled these as tight as possible when skiing to get maximum flex out of them. The only slight negative of the boot was that I felt like it was a little harder to get forward and stay forward in these boots. I had to continually remind myself to stay forward. It didn't feel natural completely. Part of that is me being a new skier, and I think part of it was just the boots. I'm trying to add some spoilers to get a little more forward angle on these during the off season. We'll see if that helps next season. In summary, I first of all highly recommend every skier get a pair of custom fit boots. The amount of comfort and control that custom boots give you above rental boots is worth every penny. I guess you could buy boots cheaper online, but you really need to be an expert to consider doing this, and I wouldn't recommend it for the vast majority of skiers. I think you really need to go to a boot fitter and get them fit. Don't just buy them online, again, unless you really know what you're doing. I love my boots, and I made sure to bring them every single time I skied this whole season, even when traveling. I am curious about upgrading to a stiffer boot. These are a 110 stiffness. I may try this in another season or two once I think I'm a bit better. I definitely have seen how a stiffer boot can help control, so that's kind of what's drawing me to try that out. I'm also curious about aftermarket liners like Zip Fits or something like that, but honestly my OEM liners have been plenty comfortable, so I'm not really sure how much benefit and if it would be worth the high price of these aftermarket liners. It also looks like removing the liner every time and then putting them on and then putting them on back in the boot seems like a pain. So I'll probably stick with the stock liners until I upgrade to a stiffer boot at least. So those are my thoughts on the Tecnica 2025 boots, and I hope you have a great day.